Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the Wanderer version 2 in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. This mod's made by TerryBerrier here, and it's a cool mixed caster melee attacker, kind of like Paladin Ranger, but not similar at all. Actually has its own lane, but that's kind of the way that you want to look at this one. So with this, you get Latent Arcana here, which gives you a choice of a few different abilities which use our Latent Arcana points to be able to cast them. So I really like to be able to turn invisible as a bonus action or use the teleportation to Misty Step away. We also get to take a Wanderer's Gift. So we got the option of getting Detect Thoughts and History and Arcana proficiency, Heavy Armor and Shield proficiency with the Family Relic, the Esoteric Amulet, which will give you a reroll on your damage die with spells, and then the Augury Eye here, which you cannot be blinded by any source. I like the Family Relic for Heavy Armor and Shields, or the Augury Eye. If you're playing as a half-elf or a human, it's probably better to go the Augury Eye because you're already going to have shield proficiency built in. And for the stats, this is an intelligence half caster, so we're going to obviously want to have some intelligence points, 14 constitution and 16 dexterity. You can swap dexterity and constitution if you prefer to have more health and less initiative. So the big core principle of this build is using our invoke here. So we need an orb of invocation to be able to use these, but we can empower our ability here and change it as we continue to level up. This is actually a very cool class because at level 2 we get our latent magic. So when you use a spell slot to cast a spell in combat, an additional effect will occur depending on the school's magic. And then we also got the create orb of invocation here, which uses level 1 spell slot, and then you can churn and create an orb, which will add damage through our invoke skill. We're also going to take 2 more spells here with, I like to have Ice Knife if we get silenced and need a ranged spell. Grease can be good too to knock enemies prone, or Dissonant Whispers, and even Burning Hands is a pretty decent spell as well. We're going to go with this here though. Level 3 gets us a subclass here. Now there's the Heritage of Chaos, which gives us the Chaos Strike, and this for use of our Latent Exchange. Our Arcana, we get a random chaos effect. And then with the Heritage of the Storm, it's kind of interesting. So you can jump. Your jumps will use up more of your movement speed, but it'll create a 2-meter radius explosion that'll deal damage and push back enemies equal to your half your Wanderer level plus proficiency bonus. Kind of cool thing. And then you also get additional movement speed. And you can add your intelligence modifier to your jump distance. And you can use a jump once without using a bonus action for the first turn of combat. It's kind of cool. I'm going to go with the Heritage Chaos just because it's more chaotic and I like that playstyle. We'll then go with, I guess, Longstrider or Grease for a spell. And upon hitting level 4, we get our first feat. I always like to take the alert feat, but you could go with an intelligence increase or a dexterity increase as well. I just like the alert. Now, once we get to level 5, we get our imbue weapons. You can attack with a magical strike. After the attack, a spell can be cast with no additional cost. This does use your action and bonus action and a spell slot. We also get an additional 1d10 of force damage on attacks made with weapons, more latent arcana points. And then we also get our level 2 spells here, with Hold Person being a high priority because of how good it is. And then we get Invoke Empowerments here. So we get the Repulse 1, which will make it... So these are cool. They change our Invoke to either... This makes it do a 3-meter radius, which is kind of cool. The Ricochet will make a chain around 2 more targets. Area Invoke will make a 6-meter radius around us whenever we use our Invoke. And then the Line Invoke turns it basically into a Lightning Bolt with a shorter range. I think the Ricochet or the Explosive are my personal preferences, so we're going to go with the Ricochet because I just like how it works. It looks really cool too. Upon hitting level 6, we get our Luck Manipulation. After you or an ally is hit with a critical attack, you can guarantee a critical hit for an ally. Pretty nice. And then once we hit level 7, we get another choice in spell here. I guess if you really want to, Gust of Wind can push enemies back, which is nice. Cloud of Dagger is probably the true best for guaranteed damage. And then we also got our Latent Ward. We get another Latent Arcana here. So between Latent Ward, which will give us resistance to all damage for 1 turn. This is using a reaction. There's also the Latent Critical Sight. The number you need to roll a critical hit is reduced by 5. Kind of crazy. It's a 25% increase to our crit chance. Depends. I'm going to go with the Latent Ward here just for a bit of defensive abilities to keep ourselves safe. Level 8 gives us another feat, and I'd recommend go with an increase to either intelligence or our dexterity if we want more initiative in armor class. Level 9 gives us access to level 3 spells, with things like Lightning Bolt being top priority for an actual damage spell at this point, because we don't really got much. Level 10 gives us the Intellect Break, so you can add your intelligence modifier to our attack rolls. And then we get another choice here from our Latent Arcana. I'll go with the critical hit increase option there. I find that just works really well. Level 11 gives us, again, we got level 3 spells and Haste being a good one. Fear is also nice because this can make enemies drop their weapons, which is obviously pretty good because we can pick them up, and they are attacking with their fists. And level 12 just gives us another feat. We can then max out our intelligence here. So we have 4 Latent Arcana points here, which we can use for our different abilities. If we want to turn invisible or teleport away or give ourselves an increased critical hit chance. And this is the Prism Weave Jacket from Aradea's Radiant Threads mod. All right, now for gear. I guess the weave's a good choice. You can go with the helmet of arcane acuity in the earlier game. Just really depends on your personal preference there. The haste helmet's also a nice choice. We got the cloak protection here at just really best cloak available. Armor of agility. Since we got medium armor proficiency, this is the best choice here. Although if you want to do piercing damage, the ballast armor is nice too. And in the early game, you can use adamantine scale mail. We got Helldust gloves, boots of stormy clamor, so that we got ourselves some statuses that we can apply. Ring of free action for the movement, because we don't really got any abilities to help out with that. You can also throw Crusher's Ring on. I also like the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, because we can do a melee attack and then follow up with a hold person, which is kind of cool. I have the Ring of Protection on here. I also got the Hellrider Longbow for that +3 to our initiative. Viconia's Walking Fortress here for a bit of extra defense. And the Knife of the Undermountain King, which will give us increased critical hit chance and give us advantage on attack rolls, which is very nice. We also got our Create Orbs and Invocations here, which we can use to create elemental damage orbs, which will float around us. Pretty cool stuff, because we can pop this, and we got this little glowing orb of Invocation here, which we can then use to empower our Invoke Chain ability here. So to show off that Invoke Chain, which is really cool, because it will chain around to multiple enemies, we got advantage from our weapon there. We're going to go with a crit from it, and that chain and hit another target there, which was enough to take them out, which is perfect. So yeah, that Create the Orb of Invocation, pretty nice. Now, the only issue with our Invoke is that, yeah, we don't have too many... Combat's kind of tough, because we got to choose between, like, imbuing our weapon here, which we can use, and we can upcast that. I guess with no sense in upcast, we'll go with the imbued weapon. And then we got bonus action attacks. I guess Ice Knife's kind of funny, because it doesn't actually count as an action, so we can just go ahead and throw down Ice Knife there, too. And that's going to create a nice surface so that enemies end up slipping and falling. All right, we got hit with a bunch of commands, unfortunately, not having good luck. We got luck manipulation here, so after you or an ally are hit with a critical attack, we can guarantee a critical hit for an ally. This does use your reaction though, so if you have like any type of Lithid abilities you want to use, I would hold off on them. And again, we got Wombo comboed, unfortunately, with another command, but yeah, we were able to pop that off. Yeah, not having the best luck. And that's 4 commands in a row, so we may as well use our luck manipulation another time, I guess. Oh god. All right, well, after having some of the worst luck ever, I'm going to eat a couple opportunity attacks so that I can do something here, because we have them grouped up in a good spot. I don't care if we get hit a couple times, because I want to be able to land Fear. This is such a good spell, underrated. I'm able to hit everyone here with the Fear. This makes them all drop their weapons. We can go around just yoinking them back if we would like to, but we also got a Invoke Chain that we could do here. So what's even better is we can then go ahead with something like a Psychic Enhancement on that. If we have the Resonance Stone, it's going to increase the damage. We got a few of those orbs built up here. So we got a Psychic one, a Acid one, and a Cold one built up. So we're going to use our Chain here, which will then hopefully be able to take out a few targets there. That was great. That added the extra damage off. We took out 2 targets. That was not bad for our first turn at a few. And what's another luck manipulation, eh? Cool, missed us. And the best part about Fear is that's like a good crowd control for us. We can't do a lot to a lot of enemies at a time. Outside of Lightning Bolt here, 5 targets, we may as well drop this one down. That was pretty solid. That can then let us use the Invoke Chain. We have a Fire one, and the cool thing is you see the Invoke glowing orb floating around us there. This will take out hopefully these 2 targets, or just one it didn't chain. That's okay. We then have a bonus action for like a latent step or a latent invisibility if we want to turn invisible. And they're running away, and they keep getting hit with reverberation here, which is kind of funny. They're running where I can't go, so I'm just going to blast away with lightning. And that took them out. Unfortunately, it keeps spawning more enemies in. It can't get any peace here, unfortunately. And I'll try and Invoke Chain on the back line there. I was able to take out 1 more target. Pretty cool. And then we'll turn invisible. And with the last target, we're just going to blast away with our Invoke Beam. It's cool because even if there's nothing for it to bounce off of, it's still going to bounce. We actually lost our haste. This battle's been going on for so long. It's actually the longest battle that I've ever had in a video like this. Actually kind of insane. And I'm just going to use Shadowheart to finish this off. Our luck manipulation critical hit reaction here. We can finally blast away with that. And if you got paralyzing critical, all that much better. So yeah, we are going to finish this off with an Invoke Beam here, but this is a balanced class you saw. We almost lost. That's kind of crazy. I'm down to 33 health here. We're in rough shape, and so Shadowheart here, but we survived. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below. Go download this mod from TerryBerrier, and I hope you guys all have a great day.